Everything you need is already inside of you. The world would not be what it is without you. When we begin to create change within us, we begin to create change in the world around us. Your journey to becoming your best self as the whole person starts right now.
Hello, welcome to our podcast and webinar series, Become Your Best with Rise Up For You. I'm Lauren Sweeney and I'm your host today. We have an incredible guest. She lives in the UK and her name is Barke. She is the founder of Barke BeYourOwnHero. She's also an author that you're going to hear about soon. You guys, she is working with communities, educations, nonprofits, and the education sectors all over the world. Barke has amazing, incredible technique that helps women and girls be their own hero. Her passion and purpose have driven her training services and coaching and have placed her as an incredible influencer. Barke leads women and girls in the UK and Africa, as well as other countries. Her exceptional experience in childhood abuse, arranged marriage, emotional abuse, financial hardship, and being a single parent has helped her through her journey of becoming her own hero through personal development and personal growth, which you know at Rise Up For You, we are all about. She has delivered award-winning presentations and she's the best-selling author as well. Barke is humble and leads by example to empower, inspire, and help you become your most authentic self. All the way from the UK. Welcome, Barke. We're so glad to have you on the podcast today.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. And thank you, everybody else who's watching and listening right now. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're so glad to have you on. And I love that title. And I know later we're going to get into your book that you published on Amazon as well. How did you start this journey and this incredible, impactful work that you're doing?
It all started on one day. I was actually going into the toilet, okay? And I was faced with a mirror. And looking at this mirror, and I was just like shocked. Who is this woman looking at me? Because isn't it the worst thing you could ever say to yourself? Like, I don't want to become like my mom. Because I turned up to be exactly like my mom. For me, growing up, I didn't grow up with my mom and dad. I didn't have the luxury of that as a family. And I was sexually abused when I was 6 to 8 at the time. And also at the age of 9, I lost my father. I didn't know how much it's actually going to cost as well. At the age of 12, I was taken to Zanzibar because I was born in Kenya. And at the age of 15, I had an arranged marriage. And I had my first child at the age of 16, 17. I had my second child. And this was like 12 years of marriage. Looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, who is this person staring at me? Who is this? It looks like an auntie, looks like an older person, but who is this? Because in my head, I see me as a 16-year-old, skinny, beautiful, bubbly, amazing woman. But in front of me, this realistic woman looking at me, who's very sad, who's very depressed, walking through this earth like she doesn't belong here. Like there's something really pushing her down. And what does she want? So the first question that I asked this woman, what is your name? And this is where the name or the title of my book came. Because this woman seemed lost. And I wanted to know who she is. And the first thing to ask a person when you meet them is, what is your name? It's lovely to meet you. But before that, I had to learn Who am I? What is my name? And the main thing is that how to go from being unchained to finding true love, happiness, and freedom within. Because I didn't have any of those things. And that's where it all started. I wanted to be happy. What does this happiness look like? How does it feel like? How does it taste like? I want to know because I wasn't happy. I was numb. I was like a dead walking, like the zombie, the movie, the series, The Walking Dead. I was actually that. I was just empty vessel. But there was a fire inside my core. There was something burning. I was hungry of becoming someone, but I didn't know what or who that person is. All I knew was that something bigger is coming and I need to get ready. Now, how do I get ready? This is where the question started in my life at this time.
Oh,
So
I love that you looked in the mirror and you said, it was almost like a new beginning. Barke,
yes,
what is your name? I'm pleased to
yes.
meet you. I feel it almost as a way that you were starting over in your journey and saying, here starts the line. Here is the line where I am not going to continue to suffer like I have been for the past whatever amount of years. Here is a new beginning. And look at what you've created. Tell us about some of this amazing work that you're doing today.
Well, for me, that was the breakthrough. That was kind of like the was like I was born again because I wanted to know who I am as a person. I wanted to know what makes me happy, what makes me feel good about life. And all this time, I was really good at making other people happy. So I started myself in the journey of self-development. I started, I wanted a business. I don't know what kind of business I want, but I wanted a business. So through self-development, because I went through network marketing, and through the network marketing, I went through self-development. Through self-development, I was actually told, Barke, there's an Excel there. There's a big event coming up, success resources. There's amazing speakers. You need to be there. And I was there 6 a.m. Okay, this thing started at 8, and I was there 6 a.m. because I was born ready, and I want to be on the front seat. I don't know why people keep hiding at the back seat. I want to be in the front seat because I want to get everything that they're going to give that day. So I was there talking to people. I didn't know what or who are these people they're talking about. People were so excited. Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Andy Harrington, and all these big names they was calling. And I was like, so what? And I didn't even, know who they are. But I was like, I'm just excited to know what it's about. And listening to them talking. And I was just like, oh my God. I stood up and I was like, this is it. I am born to speak. This is who I'm supposed to be doing. All my life, I've had experience after experience, cruelty, injustice, things that happens in life that is just horrible. And I'm like, with all that happened, Barke, where are you right now? Are you unhappy? No. Are you feeling depressed? No. I'm feeling good. I want more of life because life is beautiful. So what can I do to actually stand up and share that to the world? Because I believe there's only two things you can do in life. There's only two choices. And one is negative or positive. It's up to you. It's like the same as a coin. Okay? The coin has a face, okay, as head, and the other is a tail. So that's your past. This is your future. What are you going to choose? So I was just like, oh my God, this is it. So I started to speak in public and I started sharing my story. And when I started to speak, I was like, you know what? I need to come back to the same place and speak. 1 year later, I actually did it. And after that, I was like, okay, going to speak on small groups and other people inviting me to speak on their stages. It's amazing. And I was like, yes, let's do it. Let's make it happen. And then after that, people started asking me, Barke, you've come a long way. The way you are so positive. Can you teach me? Can you coach me? And I was like, I don't think I'm a good coach. So anyway, I'll go and find out, as Branson says, any opportunity comes your way, say yes, you'll find out how later. So I was just doing that. So I was like, okay, let's talk about this coaching business. And I was like, okay, going to start learning, training about coaching. And I was like, okay, that's actually okay. I don't mind to do that. But then I got even like, okay, I want to help not just women, I want to help the youth. So how can I put myself out there? And I was just like, okay, Barke, I've gone through, trust me, I've gone through a lot of training, okay? And I was just like, how can we implement those trainings that you went through rather than putting the books and certificates that you've got on the shelves and they're just collecting dust? What can we do about it? And I thought to myself, oh, let's create a workbooks. And so I started creating workbooks to actually mentoring youth. I went to job center. I did it with churches, with mosque. I did it with different religions. I did it with community and education. Any place that they can call me, I will be there, okay? Because I don't believe in putting myself as like, this is my price. If you cannot reach that price, that means you're not going to call me. No, 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 no. Let's negotiate, okay? Let's talk about it. What's your budget? What is the actual impact that it would actually give? Because I believe in quality, not quantity. And I believe in helping because my legacy here is to actually help people to be successful and people to stand up and be their own hero. And this is what I do. Now, I'm open to collaborate with big organizations, with small organizations, with charities, and with influencers. And this now, I met Kamara Youths, and we're doing every month at the end of so tomorrow, at the last Saturday of the month, we're doing events, and that is a speaking event. But because of what he's doing, because he's Kamara Youth, so he's all about youths. And amazing thing is that the leaders we bring along, we are actually wanting to help the organizations. We want to help those influencers, the charities that are helping the communities. So we are there as consultants, but we also want the same thing, is to save our next generation. Because as a grown-up, we cannot help our children if we're not helping ourselves.
Totally.
And that's the key here.
Wow, Barke, amazing, amazing. 1 year later, you go to this conference. I also have extensive experience in the network marketing businesses, and I know the energy. You go to the conference, you're on fire. A year later, you're on the stage speaking.
Yes.
Talk about vision. That's how it happens, right? You see it and then you're there. So what if somebody is listening? They are going through some of those things that you've been through or their own version of it. Where do you recommend they even begin to heal and to go on that personal development journey?
So, because of my experience, I didn't have anyone. All I had was my journals and a pen. And that helped me a lot. But it took long years for me to get those answers. So when I went in Zanzibar, my own country where my parents were born, and I went to that country because you have to understand, as a Muslim woman, as a African woman, divorce is a taboo, is a shame kind of thing. And gone there as a single mother, as a single woman, and as a divorcee, it was such a big deal, but I didn't even think about it. But I went there to help the youth. So I was working with the Zanzibar for the youth, and they actually let us come to the country as a, people from abroad, the speakers from abroad. And what happened is that I spoke and I did my mentoring program. And when I shared my story, people, they were like, me too, me too, me too, me too. And then we had, so we sat down and I said to them, you know what? I'm actually going to publish my book next year. And in that book, I would love to come back to Zanzibar and to share this book, because my book is going to be your kind of your guide in supporting you. Because as a woman, or as a person, as a human being, sometimes we're not ready to get that help straight away. Sometimes we need to work on ourselves, or we need to take steps a bit slower, and that's okay. So what happened is that in this book that I wrote, I hope you can see it, it's what I've done is that in this book, every chapter I wrote about my story, is my story, my, in my perspective. And after the chapter, I actually put challenges and tasks for the reader. So they help themselves in knowing and understanding who they are as a person. So the same thing that I did with myself by asking myself questions. Who am I? What is my name? All of those things is in this book. It takes you from A to B. When you're in chapter
Wow.
9, or when you're ready to call for that professional help or to call for that aid, then you're ready to take and make your life the best way, or live in the best version of yourself, because you're ready
Amazing.
for it.
And if you're listening to the podcast, we do have it here visually. If you're watching us on our Facebook channel, you can also just jot it down or come back to it. But if you're listening, she's on Amazon, and the book title is What is Your Name? And her name is spelled Barke, and her last name is Faraj. What is your name? You can buy the book as well. Speaking of connecting with you, I know you're also big on LinkedIn. I was looking at it before the podcast. Some incredible work you are doing. And her LinkedIn as well is her first name, Barke, and then it's Kamuss. And of course, if you ever want to come back to this as a visual, just go to our Rise Up For You Facebook page and you'll be able to see it. Ugh,
Yeah.
I love that you created the book so that people have a guide. I also hear your compassion in people starting where they're at, asking themselves questions. It's sort of the emotional intelligence model, right? Where it's
Mm.
self-awareness, self-management, and then seeking counsel. Like you said, it took you years. So if people can
Mm.
work with a coach or work with someone to support them, it'll really support them in moving.
Exactly. Because I went through it. I know the process is there. But end of the day, self-awareness is key. You have to know what is that, telltales. You have to know those triggers. You have to know what am I thinking about right now? What is that persistent thought that keeps coming to me? Or what am I holding myself with? What accountability do you have? Because if you don't have that awareness, how are you going to be able to improve on yourself? How are you going to be able to make a difference in your life? How are you going to be able to show up in life? If you're just talking diarrhea, you're just like doing things in impulse, but then you're not actually getting where you want to go. So, end of the day, okay, like I said, we can make life simple, or we can make life harder. And we can make life the way we want to, or we can make life the way we think that we want to make it, but we're not doing it. So it's all up to you. It takes you to make a difference. And this is why I'm all about self. Okay, everything to do with self. Because if you create or live in the mindset of positive mindset, it doesn't mean that oh, there's no negativity going to happen to me, or nothing bad is going to happen to me, or no one can actually touch me in a negative way. No, you're a human being still. You're not immune to all of those things, but you are more capable of how you can handle the situation because you know how to work on yourself. And this is the key area of this life, because people ask me all the time, Barke, why are you so positive? How do you do that? And I'm like, I ask myself, okay, if I'm in the room full of people who are negative, would I want to stay in that room? No, I don't want to stay in that room. Would you, Lauren? Do you want to stay in the negative room?
No, I do not want
No,
to stay in that negative room.
exactly. Because you have to understand is that as a human being, we have one major gift that we have, and that is choice. No one can force us to do anything except ourselves. We have to surrender in a situation for anything to harm us or for anything to happen to us. We have to surrender to that situation. So my question here is today for you. Look at your life. Look at what is happening with you every day and ask yourself, what is my choice? Because there are people who say, Barke, I'm scared to choose, I'm scared. But then I'm like, you're scared, but when you don't choose anything, you're actually choosing something. So think about
Absolutely.
that too.
We say that all the time. If we don't have a focus, we have a focus. And we don't want it
Yes.
to be an unintentional one. Oh my goodness, Barke, so many good nuggets today. We love to ask a final question, and it's already in line with what you're talking about. What does rise up for you mean to you?
Listen, I come from Africa. Okay, I wanted to say I come from a world that is not is alien, but it's not. We're all human. But end of the day, I come from that world. It's where women. My grandmother didn't believe women should have education, and I didn't finish school. Okay, but end of the day, my life, everything that was happening, I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't until that day came along, and I was just like, oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Oh, I'm important, I'm existing. I'm individual. I am a person and I can make a difference in my life. Yes, duh. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. But now I know. I was like, oh my God. So I took responsibility of myself. When I took that responsibility of myself, I asked myself, but life is unlimited. Okay, there's no limit in anything. There's nothing called impossible. Anything is possible. So what happened is that for me, so you didn't finish school, so what? Just go back to school if that's what you want. Okay, sign myself up to university. I'm in the uni now. I'm learning psychology because that's what I want. Yes, we're making it happen because this is the way life is. And then I asked myself, oh, Barke, we didn't do any studying or anything to be a business person. So what? Come on, look at other entrepreneurs. Did they actually went to school and studied business? No, they didn't. You actually have to take an action for you to be able to be the person you want to be. So my thing here is that what I'm saying to you today is you've got a plan, okay? You've got dreams, you've got goals. Those goals are just in your head. They're just stuck there. They're just like a wind, okay? But until you take an action, you take a step, those goals won't turn into anything until you take that step. When you take that step, one step, I promise you, one step, and you keep doing it over and over in the right way, oh my God, it's like magnets. Because what happened is that another person will be like, oh, I love what you're doing. Can I join you? Yes, please come along. Another person comes in, you're looking at yourself and like, oh, I took 100 steps without knowing that I took those 100 steps. Because we're human beings. This is the way we are. We connect. Okay. And when we're open because we have a dream, we have a vision, and we are able to share that vision with people, oh my goodness, the door is endless. It just opens in different situations, different areas of your life, and connecting with the right people who've been there. That's the way I see it, guys. Okay. If you want to be a CEO, or if you want to be a business person, you need to go and have friends who are CEOs, who are
Yes.
business person.
Who you
Because when
surround
you do
yourself
that,
with. Yeah.
exactly, when you do that, you are going to look at yourself one day and you're like, I'm CEO. I'm a business person too, you know? Yes. Because you
Amazing.
are surrounding with people who are in the level you want to be. You cannot surround
Absolutely.
yourself in the people who are in a different level where you don't even want to be. We have to be aware of our situation. End of the day, okay, my belief system, my belief is that you have a choice to be who you want to be. You can choose to live on your own terms. You can be your own hero. Don't wait for Superman or Batman or any other man to come and save you. You can save yourself, girl. You can make that
Wow.
happen. Okay? You are
Barke.
beautiful and great. I promise you.
Wow. Drop the mic. Drop the mic, Barke. Oh my goodness. We should go on for 3 more hours. Amazing. Amazing. Well, people need to connect with you on your LinkedIn, get your book, check it out, have you come and speak. Ah, fantastic. We should definitely have you at our next conference, Barke. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren.
Oh my goodness. Oh, such passion, such energy, such fire. I love when she was talking about how it's magnetic, right? You start giving your message and other people say, yes, I want to come along as well. Well, this has been an incredible podcast. It's my pleasure to be your host. I'm Lauren Sweeney, and I want you to know we have our free business conference. Barke was talking about who you surround yourself with really does matter. Riseupforyou.biz/impact to grab your free ticket. It's in only 2 weeks from today, June 11th. So grab your free ticket at riseupforyou.biz/impact, and I will see you on the next podcast.